So, I want to tell you about the first time I started cold approaching women, right? So, this is like 2 weeks ago or some shit. I was with two guys from McDonald's school. So, one was from the Netherlands and one was from like fucking Austria or shit, and we were in England, right? So, I was like, alright, I'm in England. It doesn't fucking matter if I get rejected or not because I will never see these fucking people again, right? If I go outside right now and I speak to fucking strangers and shit, like they will fucking remember me. They will tell about me and all that shit. Like, so we were in England, right? And we were just walking around a little bit. We had to wait before we could get into the Airbnb and shit. So we're just in Manchester walking around, just visiting the city and being a fucking tourist, right? So we stepped into the free bus. So in Manchester, you generally got like free buses and shit, like fucking insane, man. So you got like free buses, and we were stepping into one of those. Um, there were like I don't know, like 12 seats or some shit. We had a few old people in the front, and then we were sitting a little bit at the end, not fully at the back, and then behind us there was this girl, and she looked fucking fire, man. She looked fucking fire. So I was like, should I do it? Should I not do it? Blah blah. And I was like, fuck it. Let's fucking do it, man. So I don't know, I asked her some fucking bullshit standard question, doesn't matter. I just asked like, oh yeah, do you know something to do here around in Manchester, right? And she just said like, oh yeah, I'm not from here, I'm traveling as well, blah blah. I don't know what she said. It's some fucking bullshit. And just we started talking and talking and talking, and then at some point she told us like, yeah, I'm traveling as well. I have no place to go as well. And I just said like, oh yeah, let's just go together somewhere, right? Like with us four, and just fucking getting to know the city, right? Just playing a tourist. So we were there, and she was actually like fucking hot, even hotter than I could fucking realize. And she was like feminine and all that shit as well, right? Because a big limiting belief I had is that, yeah, if I do cold outreach, like all the girls are like fucking masculine, like not wife quality and all that shit, right? So we were there, and as we were talking, it turned out she'd be like fucking 20 or some shit. Like I genuinely thought she was like 15 or some, or like 17 or some shit. Like I'm 17 as well, right? So yeah, man, I thought she was my age, and then I was with one guy who was 18 and the other guy was like 19, and it turned out she'd be like 20 or some shit like that, right? So she was a little bit too old for me, of course, but there were this other guy, and they started talking and shit. And yeah, man, it was just fucking fun, man. I think we talked with each other for like 2 to 3 hours or some shit, like fucking long, man. And she was like inspired that we did all work and all that shit, and she was actually like fucking feminine, man. Like actually feminine, like wife quality. So if she wasn't, if she was like my age, I would definitely like secure the WhatsApp or some shit, because she also talked about Islam and all that shit. And she said like, oh yeah, you've got some Muslims. She wanted to be a Muslim, right? But she didn't wear the, I don't know what the word is in English, but she didn't wear that thing yet. But she wanted to become a Muslim, and she said like, yeah, but I don't want to become like a fake Muslim, like drink alcohol and go fuck around and all that shit. So she was actually like high quality. And the reason I fucking tell you this is because you need to realize there are actually people, like actually genuinely beautiful feminine women out there. I really want you to realize this, right? There are like beautiful feminine women out there. And you need to fucking realize these red pill influencers, like, oh yeah, I'm so good, I'm so alpha male, I'm so masculine, and they all talk fucking shit about women and all that shit, right? They say like, oh yeah, you can't find high quality women, and all women are trash, and every woman is a hoe, and every girl's a hoe, and I only fuck for pussy, and yeah, I'm so good, bro. No, that's not fucking true. And you need to realize, if you're listening to these fucking guys, you're implanting it in your brain, your subconscious mind. So it's not your actual mind, like the thing that determines the thoughts you have. It starts to think like, oh yeah, there are no feminine women out there, there's no hope, blah blah blah. And this could genuinely fuck you up, bro. You don't even fucking realize this could genuinely fuck you up more than you realize, because you start to get demotivated, right? If you only think like, oh yeah, there are only hoes out there, every single woman is a fucking hoe, and all that shit, you start to think like, oh yeah, maybe I should just fuck around real quick, because there's no good women anyway. So what's the point, right? Why am I doing this? Those are the questions you start asking yourself, and then maybe you will even find this back in your work. You start to think like, oh yeah, why am I even like working that hard if we can only get the same women, right? So you need to fucking realize everything that these red pill bullshit influencers tell you, because they can't get like high quality wives and shit. It's bullshit. There are high quality feminine women out there, and I fucking experienced it myself. I fucking saw it first with my fucking eyes. Oh shit, bro. It looks like I'm fucking talking about a special animal or some shit, but you get the point, right? It's like, if these Red Bull influencers are saying to you like, oh yeah, there's no high quality feminine woman and shit, what are the actions you are going to take? You're going to think like, oh yeah, there's no women anyways, I would just fuck around, blah blah. I won't work that hard, because what's the point? Fuck that shit. You need to realize, I genuinely thought this. And I do have to say though, like, I've got to be honest, I made a few mistakes in the past. Like, I I never fucked a girl or some shit, but I kissed a few. I did some degenerate shit, right? But I want you to realize, like, I'm going to apply this to myself. Like, every time I get like, because there's a lot of seduction and shit, right? There's a lot of desires and shit. Every time I get a desire, I start to think like, no, there are genuinely beautiful women out there. If I do something with this degenerate women right now, it will fuck up my chances to get like a more beautiful, high quality feminine woman and all that shit, right? Because imagine like this high quality feminine woman, caring, like everything you want, right? If she has a low body count, she'll probably expect the same for you. And I know you're thinking like, oh yeah, men and women are different, blah blah. And I do agree, like, I do agree, like, but I still think like it's literally scientifically proven that when you fuck somebody, you're less likely to build a like actually stick to a relationship. If you fuck somebody, you're less likely to start a fucking relationship and fucking keep a relationship. And this is genuinely a reason why I think the fucking West is. I don't want to be those guys like, oh yeah, the West is falling, guys. I don't believe the West is particularly falling. I do think like China's coming up, and the United States, like, it's not going good and all that shit. But it's the main reason for fucking divorce, bro. Realize this. Degeneracy is the biggest reason that people divorce. What's the divorce rate in fucking America? It's like 50% or some shit, right? And then think about more religious types. Like, I think like somebody told me this, like in Islam it's like 4% or some shit. And I don't say like, oh, I don't want to say like, oh yeah, Islam is good or bad, or you should convert into Islam. I don't know. But you need to realize this. Like, this is a thought you should have. Like, why do you think that is? And of course, there are more factors to only sleeping around and degeneracy and all that shit, right? But I really want you to emphasize. I want to emphasize this, and I want you to realize this. Like, it's not all about sleeping around, and you're not cool if you fuck like three girls at the same time. Like, fucking crazy, man. I don't know what. You can call these people role models, but I don't know, man. It's the same. It's the same people who try to buy like supercars to flex around and smoke cigars, and yeah, man. I just don't believe like. I do believe like people like Andrew Tate and shit. They spread a very good message. And I agree with like 80% of this. This is, by the way, what I fucking don't understand in people. Everybody says like, oh yeah, I agree with Andrew Tate. I don't agree with Andrew Tate. That's not the fucking point. Like, it's not about, oh yeah, I agree with Andrew Tate. I don't agree with him. It's how much do you agree with? It's everything is fucking non-binary, bro. So I do agree with like 80% of what Andrew Tate says and does and shit. But I still think it's like degenerate to sleep around with like 10 people or yeah, just smoke cigars and drive around the supercars. Like, the reason people drive supercars is because they have desires, and the reason they have desires is because of childhood ones. So yeah, but I don't know, like, I don't want to go too deep into this video, but yeah, man, I just want to make that video like fucking realize there are high quality 10 out of 10 beautiful women out there, feminine, asking questions and all that shit. So yeah, man, I want to give you a little bit of hope. I've got this free school community in my description. You can go there right now, link in the fucking bio. I will teach you how to make money and all that shit. Like, let's make some fucking money, man.